Now, I know that film started with another actor in the lead role.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see in those first few weeks of shooting that made you decide to replace Eric Stoltz with Michael J. Fox? What didn't work?
Well, it was all my fault. I realized that I had cast the wrong actor in the part. It had nothing to do with Eric's performance or his ability to do the part. I just felt that the character needed to have another dimension that wasn't part of Eric's instrument, if you will. And that was, and I regretted being forced into starting the picture until until I had the right guy.
Now, how difficult was that for you to step in when they had already shot a lot of footage?
Well, it was interesting because, I don't know if people know how movies are made, but for example, we shoot a master and then we do coverage, close-ups and stuff. So with a lot of the stuff, they had already shot everybody else's coverage, so I was pretty much locked into what I could do. But the whole experience was, in a way, kind of a blur because I found out about it on a Friday, basically, and by Monday I was shooting the movie. I was doing Family Ties all day and Back to the Future all night. I was getting like 2-3 hours sleep. And, when I saw the film finally, there were like scenes that I couldn't remember shooting. And it was really kind of a blur. It was a really wild time. It's a kind of situation where you're the jumping on point for the audience, kind of a tour guide situation. And you're going to take them into some situations that they're not familiar with, and introduce them to some people that they may have a hard time identifying with. And Bob Zemeckis, who directed Back to the Future, said to me, before I did it, he said, if you do this exactly as it should be done, and you do the best job you can do at it, you will get no credit. And I said, well, thanks. It's terrific. I'm excited now. Let's go.
Back to the Future, that didn't mean anything at the time that it was on a script. Nobody knew what that meant.
It's absolutely true, and everyone assumes that that we did, but we had no idea that the film was going to be as successful as it was, and that end shot where they fly off was just literally a joke. And now here we are.
With sequels, to a certain extent, what people want to see is the same movie from a different angle. They want to be with those people again and have those same feelings again. And so I think they pulled it off pretty well, that whole idea of going back into the first movie and watching myself dealing with other things. And it does make you think, what's happening? What am I doing right now while I'm doing this?
It was really nice because it was so nice. A lot of movies don't turn out the way you wish they would. And even if they do, they're not received the way you hope they would. And this was such a nice experience for all of us to get back together and say, we all watched it together and this before we started and say, look what we did, isn't this nice?
I cherish the dress I wore in the dance from Back to the Future. I have that pink dress that I wore. And actually, when we did one of the sequels, they couldn't find that dress and they needed it. And I said, ha ha, I just happen to have it. They had 3 of them, but they lost the other 2.
The Dolly Parton makeup. They built a plaster cast, a bust of my bust, and built it out. And yeah, every day they had to build a new piece. It was very funny. And everybody would come up like, and go, and grab it. Because it's just latex, it's just this huge rubber thing that they glued on me like this.
I went onto this off of Back to the Future 2 and 3, and there was nothing John Badham could do to me that Bob Zemeckis hadn't already done. I mean, I'd been hung, dragged, fallen off, kicked, punched, run over by horses. So in this, it was just more of the same. When you're little, you have to be, funny and agile,